Hello everyone and welcome back for some more Drag Race gossip, secrets and drama. So, as you probably know by now, Silky Nutmeg Ganache and A'keria C Davenport have been involved in a very public feud since June 2025, which started over an alleged stolen TV. This feud has now been mentioned on All Stars 11, and A'keria also recently gave her side of the story at Roscoe's, which I covered in my previous Roscoe's recap video, which I'll link to in the description. Well, up until now, Silky had stayed silent on the feud. However, Silky has now finally given her full side of the story for the first time in a new episode of Mistress Monday on Mistress Isabel Brooks' YouTube channel. The video was posted a short while ago at the time of making this video, and the video was titled Dear A'keria, No More Lies, and I'll link to the full video on Mistress's channel in the description. In this video, Silky goes through the entire timeline of what happened from her perspective, responds to some of the claims A'keria made at Roscoe's, and Silky also shockingly reveals that A'keria sued her. Also, A'keria went live after this video came out and responded to these comments, and I'll go through that afterwards. So in this video, I'm going to go through exactly what was said by who and explain the entire timeline. All that and more coming up in today's video, so let's get started. Also, if you like these drama recap videos and you want more of them, make sure you hit subscribe to get notified when I post more of them in the future. Okay, so let's start with a quick recap of the background of the feud between Silky and A'keria. Silky and A'keria were both on season 11 and also All Stars 6 together, and the two of them were very close friends for years. However, back in June 2025, around the time the All Stars 11 cast was being rumoured, A'keria posted a series of tweets seemingly aimed at Silky, including one that said, "You can't be a reverend and a thief," as well as screenshots of text messages between them. The story that then came out at the time was that A'keria was accusing Silky of keeping or stealing her TV, and Silky never publicly responded to this at the time. The two of them were then revealed to be on All Stars 11 together, although they were in different brackets, and the feud was addressed on the show in episode 10 when both of them came through after the merge, and both queens spoke about it in their confessionals and in the workroom, but they were pretty vague about it. A'keria then appeared at Roscoe's alongside Kennedy Davenport for the viewing party for episode 10. A'keria gave more of her side of the story, saying that the TV was the straw that broke the camel's back, that she stayed silent about the situation for a year, and that she even reached out to Silky's biological mother to try and resolve things. So that's the background of what's happened so far. Let's start with what Silky said in Mistress's video. As I mentioned earlier, Silky had not publicly commented on any of this situation with A'keria up until now. Then, on the 14th of July, Mistress posted a video with Silky where they went through everything that happened between Silky and A'keria. So let's go through all of the main points that were made in the video. Silky started by explaining why she's finally decided to speak about this after staying silent for so long. She said a lot of people have already chosen a side, and the situation has given people who didn't like her beforehand an opportunity to express more hate. She also said that some of her Drag Race sisters have read her and unfollowed her because of this situation, even though she said nothing about it. Silky added that her intention was to never say anything at all about it because this was her 4th time competing on Drag Race and she wanted to compete with grace. She also spoke about how difficult the timing of everything has been because her grandmother died 2 days before the All Stars 11 cast was announced, while fans were already reading her online. And she said her All Stars experience has been ruined and the experience has been taken away from her because of everything that has been going on. The main reason she's finally decided to speak about it is because her family called her the night before this video was recorded and told her it was time to stand up for herself. Silky then went through the whole timeline from the beginning, and she was clear to say that she was only going to state facts. She started by saying that she genuinely loved A'keria as a sister and that A'keria had earned her trust over the years. About 3 years ago, in August, Silky purchased a house in Houston, Texas. At the time, A'keria was going through some issues, so Silky offered to let her stay as a guest in her home while she figured out her next move. This is where Silky corrected one of the narratives that has been going around. She said that some people think that she and A'keria moved into an apartment together, and that Silky then moved out while A'keria was away at a gig. But Silky said that is not true, and A'keria was living in Silky's own house, which Silky furnished herself. A'keria was only supposed to stay for around 3 months, but ended up living there for around 9 months. A'keria paid $500 a month, even though Silky's mortgage was $3,700 a month, and that sometimes A'keria's rent payments were late, but Silky didn't mind because she was helping her sister get back on her feet. Mistress also pointed out later in the video that Silky had even loaned A'keria some money before she moved in, on top of letting her stay for a low rent amount. Silky said that when she was ready to live alone, she asked A'keria when she was going to move out. A'keria said that she would be out by the 1st of the month, but Silky came back from a month away in Europe on May the 3rd, and A'keria was still there. A'keria then said she'd be out by May 7th, but she officially didn't leave until May 9th. And just to repeat what I said earlier, A'keria was apparently only supposed to stay at Silky's originally for 3 months, but it ended up being 9 months. Silky said when A'keria moved out, she left a lot of her things behind, including a TV, which Silky moved into her garage. And according to Silky, this TV was actually a 65-inch TV that Silky had purchased for A'keria in the first place. Silky then explained that A'keria took months to come and collect her things. A'keria reached out in September to come collect her things, but she didn't come. Then she set up a date in November, but she also did not come. Then, in January, Silky had some surgery. Silky explained that under Texas law, property is considered abandoned after 60 days, so by this point, she could have just thrown out A'keria's things, but she decided to keep everything anyway. Silky said her boyfriend at the time wanted her to throw it all out, and some of her sisters also told her to do the same thing, but Silky refused because she thought everyone deserves a little grace. Silky said things between her and A'keria then took a turn for the worse around the time All Stars 11 was happening. A'keria messaged Silky asking to pick up her things while Silky was filming her bracket, so Silky didn't respond. Then, when Silky got back from filming, she went straight to Mississippi to celebrate Juneteenth with her family. So Silky had not responded to A'keria because Silky wanted to spend time with her family and decided she would deal with it all when she got back. But apparently A'keria felt like Silky was holding her stuff hostage. When Silky got back, A'keria arranged to come on the Thursday to pick up her stuff, but she did not show up again, and then finally she came on the Friday to collect her things. And this is when the TV drama happened. Silky said that when A'keria collected her stuff, she asked Silky, quote, "Where is my other TV?" Silky said there was no other TV because the only TV A'keria left was the one that Silky had purchased for her. Silky also pointed out that every TV in her house is 75-inch and is mounted to the wall, and she bought all of them herself, so she has no reason to keep A'keria's TV. A'keria apparently got annoyed, walked away, and said to Silky, quote, "B word, I'm gonna make you know it." After that, Silky said A'keria kept calling and texting her, and a third party also did the same, and then A'keria took it online with the tweets and the Facebook posts. Silky said she blocked A'keria at that point because the moment A'keria took it public, the friendship was over for her, and Silky said, quote, "There was no coming back for me." Mistress then went through A'keria's social media posts from 2025 on screen, and this section ties into what A'keria said at Roscoe's. The posts included one where A'keria said, "You can't be a reverend and a thief," as well as another one that said, "She doesn't have talent, she's just to laugh at on TV, you will soon find out." Mistress also showed that on one day, A'keria posted saying the hurt had passed and the anger had faded, and that the items could be replaced but her peace could not, and she asked people not to send Silky any hate on her behalf. But the very next day, A'keria posted saying, quote, "To be continued," saying that she would see everyone on live later with all of the receipts and the truth, but Mistress pointed out that the live never happened. Mistress also said that A'keria was posting both on Twitter and Facebook, and the Facebook posts are important because that's where, in the Texas drag and pageant scene, the people who actually know them personally would see it. There were also posts that A'keria did about Silky's body after her surgery, with one of them saying they removed the fupa and not all of the other fat. Mistress was very critical of this, pointing out the hypocrisy of body shaming someone when A'keria has had plenty of work done herself, and especially doing it while Silky was grieving after her grandmother passed and she was dealing with the stress of being on the show. Silky also wanted to make the point that she lost a lot of weight, but it was not due to surgery or Ozempic. Mistress and Silky then addressed the things that A'keria had recently said at Roscoe's, and they actually played clips in the video. Firstly, A'keria said at Roscoe's that after all of this TV situation took place, she went completely silent for a year and didn't want to say anything publicly negative about Silky. Mistress then paused the Roscoe's footage and said that that's not true, and pointed out that they had literally just gone through 5 slides of A'keria's posts, and Mistress said, quote, "We're already off the bat, we're lying." Secondly, A'keria said at Roscoe's that she never wanted the friendship with Silky to end, and that she even went as far as reaching out to Silky's biological mother. However, Silky said that this is also not true. Silky even asked her mother about it, and her mother told her that A'keria never called her. A'keria also asked at Roscoe's why Silky has never come up to her either in the workroom or outside during the whole year that they were not speaking. Silky's response to this was to ask how A'keria could expect her to come to her after A'keria had been reading her online every day and talking about her talent and her wellness journey. Silky also flipped it around and asked why A'keria did not come to her in the workroom if she thought the friendship could be saved, instead of reading her in the episodes. Then we got to probably the biggest reveal of the whole video. Silky revealed that A'keria actually sued her. She said A'keria filed a lawsuit against her for $900 over the TV and also a sewing machine, and that lawsuit was filed a couple of days after they got back from filming the semis on All Stars 11. And Silky said she was even served at her own home. Silky hired a lawyer and filed a formal response to the courts because she said she does things the right way. The court date was set for February the 16th, 2026. Silky went to court, but A'keria did not show up. They showed partial court documents on screen in the video, however the uncensored versions are only on Mistress's Patreon, but the document said that the case was dismissed because the plaintiff, which is A'keria, was not present. Silky said the lawsuit was the nail in the coffin for her, saying, quote, "When the court case was dismissed, so was the friendship." Silky also said that in private, A'keria cries to her friends, saying she misses what they had, but then in public, it's a completely different story, which is why she says there's no going back. There was also a part of the video where they talked about Kennedy Davenport, who is A'keria's drag aunt and was also on All Stars 11. Mistress said she had been in rooms where people were repeating things about Silky that were not true, and that Kennedy was one of the people speaking about it and blindly taking A'keria's side. Silky said she thinks Kennedy just wanted to feel like she was standing up for A'keria, but it hurt her feelings because Silky considers herself part of the Davenport family too. Silky even mentioned that the matriarch of the Davenport family, Calexus Davenport, stayed at her house recently. Silky said Kennedy will probably confront her again after this video, but that she's not going to respond to anything after this. Silky also said there are other Drag Race sisters in LA who have treated her differently because of this whole situation, and she doesn't understand why. Towards the end of the video, Silky made it clear that this is the only time she'll ever speak about this. She doesn't care about receipts anymore, and after this, she's going to go back to being silent and focusing on herself. She asked fans to just drop the whole thing because she's still grieving her grandmother passing and trying to focus on her goals. She mentioned she has a European tour in August, a Christmas tour in November and December, and an unannounced Canadian tour in February and March, and she wants to audition for more things, including Broadway. Silky also said she doesn't like that friends and members of the Davenport family feel like they have to choose a side. Silky actually said if people do feel the need to pick a side, they should pick A'keria's side because maybe that will help her, but it won't help Silky. And at the end of the video, Mistress asked Silky what she would say to A'keria if she's watching, and A'keria just said, quote, "God bless you." She also said she still has love for A'keria and she wants A'keria to eat, but, quote, "she's not welcome at my table to eat." Mistress revealed that she did give A'keria the opportunity to come on Mistress's channel and say her piece, but A'keria said not at the moment, and that she wants to do it in her own way. Mistress also made it very clear throughout the video that she and Silky are friends, and she is taking Silky's side because Mistress has been involved in the situation from the start, and she knows what's been going on, and Mistress called out A'keria multiple times in the video and said A'keria is lying. Mistress then ended the video by saying she thinks A'keria should just take the L and apologise, but she also asked her viewers to send words of encouragement to both Silky and A'keria and not to send hate to anyone. I then saw that right after Mistress posted this video and it started getting a lot of traction, A'keria tweeted at Mistress saying, "At Mistress Isabel Brooks, you can't speak bleep on me other than from a one-side point of view. You was literally just on my phone reading that lady and begging me to do it on your show, which I declined. Do what you got to do, cause I'll be doing the same, save that fake-ass cousin bleep." This was then followed up with another tweet that said, "I don't know who the F this B-word thinks she is. I'm not obligated to go on her messy-ass show, especially when B-word they are friends, so of course it will be favoured towards her homegirl. LMAO, these hoes are jokes." Mistress then replied to A'keria saying, "I agree, I can't speak bleep on you other than a one-sided point of view, which is why I invited you to come to the channel and tell your side. You're still welcome to join us for Mistress Monday. Also, you throwing in that I was reading her, I read everyone. Anyways, if you're hashtag Team A'keria, sound off in the comments and let your voice be heard." Mistress also replied to a tweet where A'keria had said F Mistress and F her show, and Mistress said, "What the F? F Mistress Monday, now you've taken this bleep too far." A'keria then tweeted saying she was going to go live on TikTok later because she, quote, "wants this bleep dead to me like they are to me." A'keria then did later go live on TikTok, and I watched pretty much the entire thing, although I did miss a bit at the beginning. The live went on for over an hour, and there were lots of parts where A'keria was showing receipts of text messages and DMs that she had printed out, and she kept having to try and find the correct printouts, so it was a bit chaotic at times. She also repeated quite a few of the same things over and over, so I'm just going to summarise the main points that A'keria made in her live. So A'keria said she never intended to stay at Silky's house long term, and that she was in the process of buying a house the whole time, which is why things took as long as they did. When the process dragged on, she decided to find an apartment instead. Before Silky left to go on tour, A'keria proactively texted her, saying that they needed to have a talk about the living arrangement, and Silky replied, quote, "Let's chat when we get back to Houston." However, this chat never happened because A'keria said Silky texted her instead at 4:41 in the morning on Sunday, April 22nd, saying she'd got the layout for her new studio, which was going to be the room A'keria was staying in, and was hoping to start mid-May. So presumably Silky was saying she needed A'keria to move out because she had plans to do something with that room. A'keria acknowledged that it's Silky's house, so she can of course do what she wants with it, but as a friend, and given that A'keria had raised the conversation topic weeks earlier, she thought it was a matter of common courtesy. She showed text messages saying that she started to move out the very next day, and also showed proof that she paid her final $500 of rent. A'keria also claimed that while she was living at Silky's and paying rent, the hot water and heating went off, and she was left taking cold showers for a full month. And it got to the point where A'keria's niece told her to come and stay with her instead. At the time, A'keria assumed that something was broken, but she said it, quote, "doesn't add up that when Silky came back home, the hot water suddenly came back on." She was careful to frame this as an allegation, saying that if Silky did turn it off out of spite, karma will handle it. And just as a quick note, as I said earlier, I did miss the very start of the live, so A'keria may have talked about this hot water issue more at the beginning, but she did reference it several times throughout the live, so this is just what I've pieced together, but there may be bits that I've missed out. Moving on, and A'keria then pushed back on the narrative that she did something wrong to Silky, and A'keria showed how friendly she remained even after moving out. A'keria said she even offered Silky a $5,000 booking, texted her good luck for her pageant, and in August she texted her saying she wasn't sure why their friendship had died off and asked if they could talk. Silky replied saying, quote, "let's chat," but it never happened. A'keria did take accountability for one thing, saying her mistake was leaving her stuff at Silky's house for so long. A'keria then went through several of the claims that Silky made. About the body shaming issue, A'keria showed text messages where she had congratulated Silky after her surgery and said, quote, "heard you got fine," and said the negative Twitter comments only came after everything else had already happened. About the money issue, A'keria said the loan that Silky gave her was for silicone removal, and this was before she even moved in, and she showed receipts that she proactively asked for the exact amount, and then she paid Silky in full. About staying silent, A'keria didn't deny the tweets that she made, admitting that they were, quote, "possibly childish, but done out of anger." But her argument was the timeline. The tweets happened after months of apparently hearing Silky tell friends and family different stories about why she kicked A'keria out, including that A'keria had a mystery boy at the house, which A'keria said was not true, and she showed a text of Silky approving her boyfriend coming over. There was also a claim that Silky told people at Roscoe's that A'keria had been homeless, but A'keria strongly denied this. About reaching out to Silky's biological mother, Silky said on Mistress Monday that A'keria never contacted her mother. However, A'keria held up printed messages that she says shows that she respectfully reached out to Silky's mother before she ever lashed out online. It's worth noting that Silky's wording in the Mistress video was that A'keria never, quote, called her mother, whereas what A'keria showed were written messages, so that might explain the discrepancy. However, this is just a guess. About the TV situation, A'keria said she definitely left 2 TVs at Silky's house, and her strongest receipt was a text message from Silky saying that she was waiting for a mutual friend named Jayla to call her back to make sure that she had not moved the TV somewhere else. A'keria's argument was that if there never was a second TV, then there would be no reason for Silky to check whether someone else had moved it. A'keria also claimed that just days before the live, Silky told A'keria's best friend a different story when she saw her at a pageant, and her boyfriend had told her to throw the TV away, which meant that there must have been a TV. So A'keria asked, quote, "What's the truth?" About the lawsuit, A'keria confirmed that she did sue Silky out of frustration, saying her mother talked her out of reacting in anger, so she went through the courts instead. And the reason A'keria missed the court date was because she had moved apartments after filing the suit, so the paperwork went to her old address, and she never received the paperwork, and therefore she didn't know what day the case was happening. A'keria went on to say that she never intended to talk about this drama on TV, and that confessionals of her crying about the situation were never aired, and that her problem is that Silky was involving other girls on the season like Jasmine, who only knew one side, and it made A'keria out to be the bully. A'keria also claimed that on All Stars 6, she knew about Silky's game within a game and coming back for the lip sync off, and A'keria declined to come back for the lip sync off because she wanted Silky to win it for them, and that she did Silky's makeup for the Continental pageant and never asked for credit. A'keria also confirmed that Mistress did invite her to come on Mistress Monday, but A'keria said no because Mistress is, quote, messy, and she's also Silky's friend, so she thought the video would be edited however they want to look at it. So A'keria decided to go live instead because it meant that she could tell her truth unedited, and she waited until the season finished airing so it wouldn't look like the drama was for TV. A'keria also revealed that when Silky's grandmother passed away, because she had been blocked by Silky, she reached out to Silky's parents to ask where she could send a bouquet of orchids, which were Silky's grandmother's favourite flowers, as an olive branch to at least be cordial. A'keria then said that if she wanted to do harm to Silky, she knows where Silky lives, and admitted that the thought had crossed her mind when she was in a, quote, very dark, angry place, but that her conscience would never allow it because she once loved her. A'keria ended by saying the friendship between the two of them is dead, she's done talking about it, and from now on, people should ask Silky why they are not friends. She believes that Silky's issue with her is something internal, and said, quote, antics always cover insecurities, although she did add that Silky has a heart of gold. And A'keria finished by saying, quote, I love y'all, to those who don't love me, F y'all, and I'm out. So both queens have now said they're done speaking about this, and if anything else comes up, I'll of course keep you updated. But for the time being, that is all the information we have, and we'll have to wait and see if any more information comes out in the future. But as I always say, please do not send hate to Silky, A'keria, or anyone else involved. These videos are just to keep you up to date with what's happening in the world of Drag Race, so just remember to not send hate and consume this type of content responsibly. So there you go, there was a recap of what Silky and A'keria have said about their feud and addressing all of the rumours. And let me know what you think about this whole situation in the comments. If you'd like to get things like early access, exclusive content, as well as many other benefits like priority to have your comments featured in my videos, you can check out either my Patreon, which is my main platform, or for a more convenient option if you want, you can also join my YouTube membership by clicking the join button under any of my videos. And there'll be links to both of those things in the description. I'd also like to say thank you so much to my amazing Patreon members. You are absolutely incredible. Your support truly does keep this channel going, and you have no idea how grateful I am to all of you. So honestly, thank you so much. Please make sure you like and comment on this video because it does help to boost it in the algorithm and promote it to even more people. And please make sure you do your big one and smash that subscribe button because it does make a big difference. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you'll join me in the future for some more Drag Race gossip, secrets, and drama. Thank you so much. Bye.